What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, revenge. That is a very, very hot topic in the world as far as how people are living their lives and how they deal with affliction. And revenge is very, very sweet to the person who has been afflicted and who can in turn inflict, their undying hatred and disdain upon the person who perpetrated them, right? But Marcus Aurelius said it best. He said that the best revenge in life is to not be like your enemy. And this comes in context with the biblical script when it said, turn the other cheek. When, somebody does you wrong or somebody slaps you across the face, you turn the other cheek to them, and you let the revenge be in God's hands or the universe's hands or karma, however you, whatever religious belief you have to believe that the dots will connect in the future, that this person will have karma enacted on them. Because trust me, I've lived 40 years of life, and I can tell you right now that any wrongs I've ever done, I paid for in some way, form, or fashion. It might not have been from the person that I wronged, and I truly believe that I haven't tried to do anything purposely like major to people, but sometimes I might have afflicted somebody, and maybe it wasn't the best decision I made, and I was immature or whatever, but I had to pay for it later. Karma come to get me. And sometimes, but I've seen it more with other people. I've seen people that got done wrong. They in turn did wrong to enact their revenge, and karma came back on them later because karma pays their debts. And you can't live your life bearing the weight of hatred. And I think that if you let it go, your revenge, your undying urge to have revenge, I think if you do not act upon your revenge and you become the taller, better person, and it also goes hand in hand with allowing you to let go of the affliction. Now, it might take some time. It might take some definite work, right? It takes a lot of work to work through those kinds of things. It takes a lot of self-reflection and critical thinking on your part, and it takes a lot of discipline, willpower, and restraint to keep yourself from enacting acting out your revenge on this person or people or whatever. But being the bigger, better person is really one of the things that will give you a sense of self-worth, I think, in the end. And like I said, karma pays the debt. In the biblical scripture, it says that revenge is mine. So you got to let God handle it. I think that is a very, very good practice for people. And if we would get into that, then less incidents would happen. Now, there's people out there who will take advantage of situations and throw you under the bus, and then the next thing you know, you're fighting for your life or whatever the deal is. And these people have no clue of the pain, the suffering, the mental impact, the anxiety, the stress, the depression, all that stuff that comes along with doing somebody wrong, especially a life-changing event that somebody else caused. The people that cause that have no clue the impact that has on your life. And, honestly, I really seem to think that they don't care. Most people don't even care that they're causing you such afflictions. But you have to understand that if you do in turn pursue that route with another person to hurt them, to gain for yourself, you will in turn have that enacted upon you when an opportunist sees it arise, and they will throw you under the bus, and then the next thing you know, it's just a vicious cycle. And then you're feeling the anxiety, the pain, blah, 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 blah. But, if you're constant with your self-reflection, you'll look back and you'll say, you know what? I did that person wrong so many years ago, and this is karma coming back to get me. And a lot of times, the revenge from, say, karma or, God having his time with you is right at the very peak of the best times, right? You're super successful, you have a happy marriage, your kids are great, blah, 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 great, you got a new car, you got a good house, a nice, real nice, beautiful house, you know, you're doing all this stuff, you're successful, people love you, blah, blah, blah. Bam, karma hits you right in the mouth. And then the next thing you know, your wife leaves you, your kid, she takes your kids, you're paying child support, you lose your house because you can't afford to be no more, blah, 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 blah. And then you're at the tank, you're on the bottom. And then you got to decide whether you dig your way out and become a better person and self-reflect and understand that, you know, maybe I needed to get slapped across the face a little bit because, you know, I got a little too comfortable and I didn't do what I needed to do. I did wrong to get where I was at. So, you know, and that's just, you know, me speaking from a perspective of somebody who did do an affliction to somebody else to gain favor or for whatever reason, to get their money, to get their time away or to take their wife. Like people, you know, now divorce rates are so high because there's a lot of cheating in the world and social media don't help none of that. So a lot of that stuff, man, you know, it's like relationships, you know, if your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever, cheats on you, they cheat on you with somebody who's willing to try to take this person away from you. And then when they get that person cheats on them and then cheats on the next one and cheats on the next one. And these people who were actively cheating on you are also cheating on the person they cheated on you with. And then that's just a vicious cycle. But eventually that cycle catches up with said person who's doing all this cheating and life gets them. You know, maybe he'll end up with an STD or her. Maybe they'll hit the wall and they won't look as good or whatever the deal is. You know, something might happen. Maybe they'll go broke. But karma eventually will come around and get the wheel, right? Karma will eventually make it circle around and get you if you do wrong. And if you're done wrong, I believe karma will in fact make it right for you in the future. You know, and I think too, karma make it right if you have done someone wrong and you you repented for it. And you recognize that you did wrong and that wasn't fair and you will never be that person again, that's when you're really winning. And that's the best revenge, is to be better than the person that you were. So if somebody's doing something bad to you or has done something bad to you, you know, and it could be something as small as hurt your feelings, or it could be something as large as like wreck your total life, like put your whole life in the trash. That revenge is not for you to have. It's not for you to act upon. That is not for you. I believe karma will make it worse. I believe karma will make it fair. I believe karma will allow you to witness it. And this is just from my life, from people who's done me wrong. I've gotten to witness and see things and see how they've changed and see how I've changed and see how I've went to the next level. And those people stayed the same. And to me, that was good enough to know that I elevated as a person and that person stayed the same. Now, I'm not saying I wish ill will against anybody who's ever done me wrong, but the fact is that they got what they deserve. I got to see it. And, you know, maybe sometimes I don't even get to see it. Maybe sometimes I didn't, but I had to let it go, right? I had to just have faith. And that is something that is lacking so much in this world right now, is having faith in the process. So revenge really isn't as sweet as people make it out to be. Because if somebody does wrong to you and then you in turn do wrong to them, it's a bittersweet victory, really. I mean, you know, I know at the beginning of this, I said it was sweet, and it is sweet at first, right? When you enact your revenge and you get them the way you think you need to get them and blah, 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 that revenge is sweet. But as you move on through life, you know, those feelings of satisfaction kind of turn into guilt a little bit, you know, and then you're like, well, man, it was kind of trashy and I shouldn't have done that. And then, you know, it just never ends out well. So it's always best to be the bigger person and be a person that lets revenge die on the shelf and just have faith that karma, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will make it right. And honestly, I've seen it too much in my time where karma and or God or the universe or whatever has made it that way, where, you know, you at the end of the day grow from that and you become better, and that person stays the same, or you get to see things and have some satisfaction. They put your emotions to rest. And if you put it on the shelf to die, and you don't carry that burden, you are living a more fulfilled life. You're not letting it consume you, and not letting the hate build up inside of you. You know, you're really letting it go. You're living a better, more wholesome life, and you're moving on with your goals. And that's very, very important. It's like past videos I've had where I've talked about carrying a burden of hate, carrying the burden of regret, carrying the burden of guilt. Don't carry that stuff, man. Set things right. You know, don't enact your revenge on people, because you don't know, you don't know what is in store for them. Just like, betrayal is a very hurtful thing, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be a betrayer, because you don't want to become the very thing that you hate the most in that particular moment of time. And you want to rise above that kind of stuff, and you want to be better and stronger and more, well-rounded as far as that particular thing, as that particular event goes. And you need to be able to move on from that. So having this revenge is always bittersweet. But if you let things happen as they do, and you move on with your life, and you just take your licks, you elevate, you keep moving forward, you keep pushing on, and you just do better. And then even if that person who gave you, who did you bad, even if that person has to just watch you elevate, that in itself is revenge that you have no control over, other than the fact that you are elevating yourself and paying what they did to you no mind. They didn't derail your train. That in itself is some satisfaction in your heart, because you're elevating. They're watching you elevate when they thought they got you. So anyway, guys, that's the talk tonight. That's been on my mind too. Like, revenge has been a real topic that people are like, especially on TikTok platforms and things, are like, I get my revenge because, my boyfriend did me this way, so I'm going to be in a club. I've got my roster. Or the guys are like, I'm going out. My girlfriend broke up with me. I'm going to go out and get drunk and drive in the mud and do all this crazy stuff. Or I'm going to go to the strip clubs and all this stuff. And, I'm going to beat her windows out, and she keys his car and blah, 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 blah. Look, man, that is not the way to be doing that kind of stuff. You need to be living. You don't need to be drug into all that kind of mess. What you need to do is just do the right thing that is not going to burden your conscience. So, guys, like I said, revenge is not sweet for you to enact on your own. You have to have faith that a higher power is going to make things right, if not by giving you the opportunity to witness the retribution for the wrongdoings against you. If it ain't that, then at least giving you the opportunity to elevate to a level that this person cannot catch you at, or elevate you to a level that makes that person have to notice. And to me, that's the best thing, is just keep moving forward, keep elevating. Don't let nobody derail your train. Just keep rocking and rolling. All right. So if you like this content, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, give me a like so we can hit the algorithm so I can get my video out there a little better. And have a good one.